Thank you very much, Laura. Fantastic interview with Perks, if I may say. I'm Shox, and I'm joined here by the Fish Show, by Verius, and by Niski from Team Splice. Thank you very much for joining me, Niski.
No worries.
No worries. A bit of a rough week, obviously, for Splice. We just heard from Perks was a better week. What would you say in general over the 2 days did not work out yet for Splice?
I think we didn't figure out the meta like at the highest level. Like we kind of know what to play and like against what we're like supposed to play and stuff like that. But I think we just have like some issues and like we cannot like. I don't know, I mean, I think we played pretty good this game, for example, but we couldn't close out the game, and that's just small mistakes that makes us not a great team right now, I would say.
It also looks like G2 is just really strong, it seems, currently. It's not that they have figured out the meta per se, but they seem to have found champions that work for them.
To me, it feels like that this is one of the perfect metas for G2, not only because it enables Hyanan and W1D2 to be creative in terms of the individuals that they are, and they're finding a lot of success with it, but they were our best early game team from the spring split, and this is a meta that's focused on finding early advantages, playing through your star players, and then utilizing on the early advantages to then snowball the game. And while this wasn't all about early playmaking, I feel like what we have seen from them is that they're willing to be creative, they're willing to be proactive, and they're finding a lot of success with it.
Bad G2 meta is when Perks is on supportive mid laners and Hyanan is on the hyper carry. Great G2 metas is when Hyanan is not on the hyper carry, but on Heimerdinger.
From all things.
And Perks is on the big carry. Like, you literally cannot ask for more of your G2 esports and how your team is built.
So if we apply that logic then to Splice, what exactly is not how you would like to play?
I think our problem right now is that we just don't have too many champions, I would say, that we play. Like, we know what's good and stuff like that, but we didn't, like, I would say, get the best practice we could get this week, so I don't know, I think we just have to figure out new, I mean, kind of cheesy stuff like everyone does, and I think it's just the team that will have the most cheesy picks that will win the best of all.
Do I detect a bit of...
I'm so sad to hear that, man, because I think in this game you guys should not be blaming your champion choices or anything. I think individual mistakes, as you highlighted earlier, was obviously the big issue, like decision-making of it. If we think back to the game, like level 2, Niski's roaming bottom lane with a Nocturne. That's really risky against the Super Kaiser strat, because if you don't get a kill down there, it's really a waste of time.
On the other hand, we keep saying that people have to be proactive, so it's a double-edged sword.
I mean, you can farm for level 6 and then one-shot Kaiser.
Not level 2,
you have Syndra Nocturne, right? But the first Nocturne ult is used top lane on a stopwatch Heimerdinger. So that's a wasted ulti that almost actually resulted in more advantages for G2. And then Perks goes top. He's proactive. He gets the first kill on Odo Amne. And like those kind of things where then the draft kind of falls apart a little bit. It gets a lot harder to play because once you go late game against the Kaiser one, it's pretty doomed.
Yeah, it's doomed.
But they had all the tools to win before that. So I liked your draft. I liked the champion choices you had. But yeah, individual play or decisions as a team backfired.
Yeah, small mistakes that leads into big mistakes, and then we try to like avoid. I mean, like once you make a mistake, you like make less plays, and then you're like passive, and then they just take the game over. And,
So you think do you think a couple of things also have to do with the fact that you're now just back, you know, you're just back with scrimming so intensely, back on stage in the first time, that in combination with a patch, and you say it's a Heimerdinger stopwatch. Now, that's not necessarily something that you would have prepared against either. Is it a combination of factors for you guys?
I'm not sure. I mean, from my part, it's more like, I mean, in the beginning of the last season, last split, we were also playing a bit passive, I would say. So I think we just got to play more aggro and like have more, I'm not sure, like more initiative. I just felt like we were playing like a lot just reactively, and I think that's our problem right now.
I am curious as to how you think on the expansion of the number of champions that we're seeing, because like I've been told that almost all champions are viable right now. I believe like we've had 134 or so champions of the total amount that we have like is 144, and it's just having that sheer number of champions means that there are probably a lot of champs and styles and just strategies that you're not familiar with. Do you find it just difficult learning all the new stuff on top of being able to develop your own strats at the same time?
I think that, for example, yesterday when I played against Vitality and they pulled out the Heimerdinger, for example.
Right.
We were like, what's going on, you know? And then we had like no idea what to do against it, for example. So I'm not sure. I mean, I just feel like you can just cheese like whenever you want if you have the right champions, and if you play a comp like the right way, then enemy can't really do much against it because they never played against it before. So,
So is that a good or bad thing that the meta is this way?
I think it depends on the teams, because some teams are like good about it, like they they have a lot of new picks and stuff. For example, I think Fnatic, even though I won't say they're the greatest team right now, but I mean, I think they have, like, for example, a lot of potential with, like, new picks and, like, they play anything, you know. So, for example, for them it's good. For G2, I think it's good as well. But, for example, for teams like Unicorn or things like that, I don't think it's great because even though they play new champions, I don't think they can, like, play that perfect of a game. So, yeah, I mean, it just depends on the team, I think.
Alrighty, well, we'll get to talk a bit more about the meta in just a second. I do want to take a look at the standings after the 2 first days of play because Vitality is reigning supreme together with G2 Esports, Misfits Gaming, and the rest is in the middle of the pack. Obviously, we can't say too much, but are the teams G2 Esports, Misfits Gaming, and Team Vitality, are they the best in Europe or are they the best on the patch right now? What is it?
Best? I mean, both, I guess.
If you take away the patch, is this still the strongest teams in Europe?
Then I say Fnatic would probably be the strongest. If we had a like MSI patch or something.
It's actually a ridiculous question because it does matter.
Yeah, so on this patch, I would say yes. All 6 games they played were actually pretty well played by the top 3 teams. Schalke could easily have been sitting at 2-0.
That's true.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I do want to talk about Vitality, and we said it even before they played, or you said it. They're very good just in the situation of the beginning of the split. The fact that they're aggressive, which is something that I think you guys want to be more. And yeah, they can play with the patch. They seem to be the perfect example of a team that's not afraid to try literally anything and go all in. Is that their biggest strength right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing of Vitality is that they don't care if they make any mistakes, you know, like they just try whatever, and if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, then they just lose the game, for example. I think that's their biggest, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing for them or a bad thing, but I think that, I won't say that it only works in best of ones, but,
sure.
But like in best of 5, for example, I don't think you can play like how they play, for example, because I think if they make a mistake, then they just lose a game. And
I mean, you did win that best of 5 in Copenhagen, so you got that up.
Easy 3-2 win there.
For me, it just feels like that current best teams are the ones with really good early games and also just the ability to be willing to play new stuff. The top 3 teams make a lot of sense to me. Personally, Misfits stands out a little bit more than the other 2, only because it just feels like that they have very clear plans about what they plan to do, and then their ability to execute seems very, very clean. And when you contrast that to how they did last split, they had really good early games. They did everything really well up until like 25, 30 minutes. Then they make one mistake, and then everything kind of falls apart. And often it was a result of the way in which they drafted, but it also just feels that they seem to have cleaned up a lot of how they play, and they seem to be working much better as a unit compared to what we saw from last split.
Yeah, because I think even though it's only 2 games in the split, I think the fact that none of the teams actually made big roster changes aside from Schalke and Giants makes me think that, okay, we can actually draw comparisons and we can look at the evolution of a team throughout, and then the Misfits story is really positive until now.
It's very, very positive, and the meta where it is easier to snowball as well really benefits them. Funny thing is, they're actually not doing a lot of surprising picks, which Vitality is doing, obviously. Like, it's been 2 AD carries. It's been Varus and Draven from them, so that's super standard. The Senkuk's Aurelion Sol has something we've seen in the past. So they're actually playing fairly standard. They're just really good at playing the first 25 minutes. I guess they're old-style standard.
So even though we don't know exactly what's going to happen patch-wise, if the patch was to normalize, again, that makes you think that Misfits probably has the best cards going into the rest of the split because they seem to bend the meta a little bit, but not so much that it's a complete departure from what they like to do.
Sure. The moment Reckless is back on an 80 carry, though, Fnatic will win every late game.
Yes.
But except for against Misfits.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Misfits have a good situation now.
They do. Let's take a look at what you guys actually thought was going to happen today, or actually in general. Today's predictions, you guys were wrong for H2K. And there was correct from Rockat. And then Schalke voted for
I
the
think we should all get half a point for the Schalke Fnatic one.
Oh no, that's not how it works.
No one fully deserves a point there.
Unfortunately, I did vote for Splice. But yeah, the Fisho and Vedius and the fans voted for G2 Esports, so that's unlucky. I want to know who's actually #1 currently.
It's Ender.
Ender
because he went 5 for 5 today.
Yes, he got all 5.
Yes, he had
so
Rockat and
1 point in the lead.
He also
But it's a long split, and what we know, Deficio took first place literally in the final. Yeah. That is when he took it from me. So
and most of the regular season.
And most of the regular season. I think Deficio was the superior analyst, but for now it is Ender. So we'll see how that evolves.
Who's Ender?
The guy coming to replace you, Deficio.
You're scared, aren't you?
I'm very scared.
Feeling the pressure.
Very scared. Well, you should be scared because we asked the fans to send in questions.
And they took Ender.
No, we asked the fans to send in questions for you guys with the hashtag #PingTheLobby. Let's take a look. The first one from @Marco89241 who asked, how do pros approach such volatile patches and come up with quirky and innovative picks and strats? I think we started delving into that already. Niski, you said, well, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, we asked the wrong player.
I mean, it's not that easy to like find what's good, you know. Like you just play solo queue, and then if you see like someone is going great on a champion, then you try it yourself, and then either you like it or you don't. And then, it's not that I like. Imagine I like Aatrox mid, for example. It's like it's hard to like play around it, for example. You know, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's just really hard. Like even though you know what champions to play, it's just hard to play the game. Like for example, G2 today, like they knew what to do perfectly, but like Fnatic, for example, they don't really know like how to play the strategy. You know? I mean, that's how I feel.
I know some teams have the approach that if a player comes in and says, I want to play Aatrox mid lane, they're very open, being like, yes, let's go for it. Where other teams are very like, oh, you got to explain this one, otherwise we will not waste time doing it. I wonder what Spice is doing there.
I mean, we played some weird stuff in jungle, so once Xerxes comes and he says like, I don't know, like a random pick, then Peter's like, yeah, sure, you know, and then even if he ints, it's fine because, I mean, scrims are to try stuff anyway, so.
Nah, Deficio doesn't hear you. Like
no.
Okay,
you can try new things in scrims, you just got to play serious.
Okay.
Don't troll around.
All right, we talked already about maybe some strategies are great for some teams, not for others. The next question is from Vayar Staneva, who tweeted, how in the worldly world do you win a game like the one Fnatic won today? And I think it's particularly interesting to freshen up. They did the funnel strategy. They had the Kai'Sa again on caps in the mid lane. They had a jungle bot in Braum, basically, and Broxa, who was just there to help the Kai'Sa get ahead. And you guys had a bit of a discussion. You said, well, it's okay to fall behind because just tell me what your opinion was.
So I personally believe that if you're running the funnel strat, there's little responsibility on you to do a huge amount. I believe that your core goal is to play safe and farm, because you know that once the Kai'Sa, for example, hits level 16, you're almost guaranteed with this comp to win every single fight, right? I think the big flaw with Fnatic's draft is that they give too many lanes away. I think it's too easy for many teams to find early advantages and be proactive, but I feel like that with the funnel strat, there is responsibility on the opposition to be proactive. They have to be the ones looking for ganks, being aggressive, trying to find players as often as possible. And I feel like that with the draft that Splice had, it is a good comp to enable to do that. Unfortunately, it wasn't successful. But with Fnatic's draft, it's a lot easier because of how many supports they put on the map and how much freedom you have. But in my eyes, I feel like the funnel strat itself is just very much like you play on the back foot, and there's not a lot of responsibility on you to actually be proactive.
I think my concern with the Fnatic way of playing it is, even if your goal is not to be proactive, you can't play the game like that. You literally just lose everything. Because the enemy team can just say, good, fine, we go bot lane then. Oh, we took your bot tower. Let's go top. Oh, that's your top tower. And then what's always happening, except for this one game, is you hit 20 minutes. I have taken 6 turrets from you because you don't do anything. You're not proactive. I have your entire jungle is mine, effectively. I put a ward on my Baron. I start the Baron. Kai'Sa shows up just with a Rage Blade at this point. And unless she literally wins that fight on her own, even though she's against a lot of odds, you lose the game. What ended up happening in the Schalke game was that they forgot Baron even existed.
It was a thing.
And they literally ran to an Infernal Drake having no setup with 5 people alive, and Fnatic rushes a Baron down. So that's why I think you can't play the game if you don't have anywhere or any way to be proactive. And I think the G2 way of playing the strategy made a lot more sense, where while there were some good lanes for Splice against it, at least like a Heimerdinger and an Aatrox can actually do something on the map, and Perks found good ways with Jankos to actually move from the mid lane and get some kills on the other side. So I really dislike the all supports let's just sit back kind of way. It was made worse because Singed messed up so bad in level 1 that was not supposed to happen. But the bottom lane, where it's just pure supports only, I think it's too risky, and Dylan Falco said it himself. They should not have won that game.
Yeah, and let's just then have a little discussion about that, right? Because it's 2 games in a row. We actually didn't get a straight answer from Caps yesterday, nor from Dylan today, about if we're going to see it again and what's going to happen. What do you guys think? Is Reckless protesting to the patch? Is he? What's going on? I mean, obviously...
It kind of feels like it.
It's like an angry teenager. Like, no, I will not clean my room.
Yeah, because like the thing is also, if you just have to look around the world to see a very similar strat to what G2 have done. Like, the way in which that funnel strat has come about is like that you do have the diversity as well all around the map, that sure, you can invest in one resource, but having options elsewhere kind of implies to me that they just said, well, we're just going to put all our eggs on Cap's basket. We're just going to put everything into him. And the fact that we've always seen Ornn banned as well makes me think that Reckless has this mentality of, oh, well, I can't play this champ. They've also banned out some of my other champs, so I'm just going to play supportive and push and wave clear, and then just hope the Caps can carry.
Of course, we don't know. What does Nisqy think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I don't think the Ornn ban is for Reckless first, because I think Ornn is kind of things that you kind of want to group always, you know, and if there's an Ornn on enemy team, then he can just engage from wherever he wants. So that's what I think. That's why I think they ban Ornn at first. And also, I don't think I'm not sure what they think about the meta, because surely we scrim them, for example, but I mean, they play a lot of stuff, you know, and they can just pull out anything at any time, I think, and that's what makes them strong.
So it's all ruse.
I mean, from what we can hear, they've done well in scrims with this, where Caps is getting, you know, pentakills and whatever. So what I assume was just after yesterday, they said, guys, we messed up in the early game. We won't do that again. They did it again.
And they got away with it.
But they got to the point in the game where they're like, hey, he's actually strong now. Let's try and take a fight. And I don't know if it's Reckless or a coach decision.
Well, we don't know, right? I just wanted to throw the question out there, and hopefully we'll get Reckless himself.
It has a 50% win rate right now.
It does. You can't argue with that.
Let's
go on to our next tweet. It's from @Kings2022. As are Misfits, just like Belgium, where they have so much potential, but it just hasn't been reached yet. Now, I personally get super triggered by that because, well,
can I trigger you more?
Yes.
I feel like Misfits has actually performed at a World Cup so far, which is definitely a difference.
Yeah, Denmark. Hello, can you
1-0 today? Yeah. We're already the best team in the world.
By the way, greatest 1-0 ever.
Hey, we have not lost a game 16 games in a row, and Kasper Schmeichel just beat his father's record in keeping the goal clean.
For like 1 minute, 30 seconds, and then I'll draw the comparison to Misfits. But it's just like, I don't know. I may agree just because and you know this, Nisqy, the amount of individual talent on Belgium, you should do better with the Hazard, with the De Bruyne, with the company. You should do better than the quarterfinals and then get knocked out by Wales, of all countries,
in
the European Cup.
Wales.
Or by Argentina in the quarterfinal of the World Cup. Anyway, I think this team should at least aspire to get a semifinal at this World Cup. Nisqy, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think we're that bad, you know.
It's a good team.
We're not bad at all. But the fact is that with the players on the team, and that's where we draw the comparison to Misfits, you should You should aspire to more, and I think we can agree with that. Vedius, what do you think?
I think Misfits are performing exceptionally well right now. For me, they are the best team in Europe. I believe we even have Fnatic or Reckless on record saying that he believes Misfits is the best team in Europe as well. So I think it's a pretty safe bet for the time being. I just hope they can maintain it. Because while we've seen them beat Fnatic, that's actually nothing new. I would like to see them consistently beat the bottom teams like Roccat, H2K, or the teams underneath them.
Unicorns.
And they did beat Unicorns.
Smacked them.
And it's similar to Splyce, I guess. So Splyce also has great players across the board, but it doesn't always come together. We saw it come together at the end of the spring split, so we also...
They're playing the wrong formation.
Yeah.
Playing the wrong... Yes. Should go for a 4-1.
Gotta change up here.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, as we close out the opening week, we're going to take a look at some standout players in the summer split so far, starting with Hans Sama from Misfits. There's no two ways about it, I think. Hans Sama has been incredibly good on the Draven and on the Varus today, and these are his stats. Number one, he says it himself. Great stuff, and when Misfits is doing well, usually this guy is also doing well, so...
He's very good.
Yes.
I think he's good. My only concern is that he was good at the beginning of last split too, and then he kind of tapered off.
So he's the guy who like performs in the start.
Yeah.
Niski is the guy who performs at the end.
At the end.
Yeah.
But you're also performing technically right now.
Yes.
I think you're actually playing really, really well right now.
We're not just saying that because you're here. I'm the guy.
Like, it must have felt pretty good solo killing Jizuke yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that Niski's been playing pretty well overall.
But it's about Hansama.
It is about Hansama.
He's good.
Who is really, really good right now. And I think that given that the team is very comfortable just playing standard, like, that is a big advantage for Misfits. I am curious as to what happens when he gets forced onto something that isn't an AD carry. If he even gets forced
Can you ban enough AD carry?
I don't know.
In this,
Attila did have 7 AD carry bans once,
Yeah.
so you never know.
That's impressive when the NM team can only ban 5 champions. But I guess his team also banned.
It's because they, like, picked 2 AD carries.
Against Reckless, right? They banned 2 Reckless.
Yeah, they,
Regardless, we'll see how it goes with Hansama, another guy on that team who is doing well. Senkux stepping up in the first 2 wins, and I think this was a huge question mark for us throughout the entirety of spring. The fact that he gets these 2 first games, Niski, where he does okay, must feel good for Senkux as well. What have you thought of him so far?
I mean, last split, we definitely saw that he wasn't, like, at his level, you know, like, he was just below average. And, I mean, I know in the 2 first wins, I think he played pretty well, but also, like, his team was also just smurfing, I think, around the game, you know, so... I mean, I just want to see how Senkux does if, for example, Hans, or, like, if Alfari plays really bad, if he can, like, carry, or if they can play, for example, tanks bot with Super Kaisa on Senkux, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know he played, like, I think he played Lulu and Aurelion.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he's
That's
good,
his style, man. That's the stuff
Do you
he
think
wants
he's a good
to play.
player?
I think I think he's good, but I think he needs to show that he can be the carry, in my opinion.
I think we should agree if Misfits want to keep this going, we need to see more, and we will track that. Final player I want to talk about is Vitality's bot laner, Attila. We talked about him a lot already. We talked about Vitality in general, being able to play to the meta. This guy loves it. He loves it. He just says, I never want this meta to change. What is so good about Attila on 8.11?
Exactly what you just said right there.
Dope.
The man can play probably everything.
Yep.
Like, we had a Lux today, and that was pretty good. Like, that was a very good Lux he played.
Lux and Heimer this weekend. What is this timeline?
It's you don't always need AD carries bot lane timeline, and he keeps talking about it, and I'm glad he's backing it up, because I've heard other players in the past being like, oh, you can't ban me out, I can play everything, and then they actually can't. This guy is proving that he can play a lot of
Vitality
different
playing
things.
Misfits? That's what I want to know. I'm not.
I don't know.
Sure.
We should probably know this, seeing as this is our.
Well, we can't know the schedule for 5 games a day.
Maybe if I just think very loud with a different voice in my ear.
Something will come to you.
I'm trying to think.
You assume everyone's listening to what you're saying for so long. I wouldn't be so sure.
When will Vitality and Misfits play? Brain,
we'll find out. First, let's check out our big plays of the week, and then we'll find out about the upcoming schedule. The big plays, the LCS big plays brought to you by Acer Predator. Starting off with the Harbinger of Doom, as Jack Troll was dominating the bottom lane on Fiddlesticks, along with Attila's Heimerdinger. And Splice's Cobby had no idea what he was messing with.
Very, very true. Now, keeping our eyes on Attila, he has found Cobbett.
Dinger, Jack Troll. Oh, the fear! Oh, first blood! Cobby's getting thirsty. Jack Troll's not going to give him a drink.
That was amazing from Jack Troll.
I'm coming.
I'm coming as well. I'm first.
I will flash Walker.
He's out.
Can't you go?
I'm taking. I had nothing.
Oh, nice. Baby. Good job.
Crumble was topside. Crumble met on topside.
Whoa. What were the comms like of Cobby and...
I mean, when that happened, I watched bot. I saw Fiddlesticks on 1 HP, you know, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to ask what happened.
Better to leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to not say anything in that.
Unfortunate.
Quick reactions from Jack Troll there. You got to show respect. He even flashes in, fears.
And fun fact, I just remembered that we will get to see this Vitality bot lane play against Misfits bottom lane week 4 on the Saturday.
Awesome.
So I had to really dig deep to find it.
That's great
but
that
it was
you
in
just
there
remembered
somewhere.
that. Fantastic. Let's take a look at our next big play in the longest game of the split so far. It happened yesterday between H2K and Giants. H2K looked to have the upper hand after winning a team fight. We thought they won, but Betsy, he said, no, sir.
Now he's running, and he's going to get taken down. Selby manages to grab that one. Ruin will knock him down under the tower, and we'll get a kill back, courtesy of that Sun Disc. So at least
look at the base, look at the base!
Oh, no! Is this how it's going to end? Betsy! Buying time!
Oh my god, he's going to do it!
He's going to do it. The game is going down. Are you kidding me? Giants! Late game king, baby! Call it cheese, call it what you want. But that's a win in the end.
What the hell just happened?
We were paused!
Betsy just ran for the base!
Fantastic. Steelback jumping up there, really savoring that victory. Props to him as well.
Yeah. I think it was really dumb we nerfed Nexus turrets. They lost like 1,000 HP each. He took 5 hits to kill a Nexus turret. That was a lot. Anyway, it was a good
Also,
play.
there was a change as well to mages now, because like your auto attacks as well, so AP. So Azir late game actually takes out.
No,
very
I
fast.
think that
it was a good play.
But what?
mastery in patch knowledge from.
Oh yeah,
But also but like credit to Betsy as well, because the moment the fight started, he started running. He was like, I'm out. So then it was smart decision making.
It was good, but man, those turrets, they died too quickly.
They fall over. Final big play, Hansama. He pulled out a signature Draven for our match of the week against Fnatic. The French AD carry completely took over the game, leading his team to a big victory.
Still only sitting at level 5. You need that Cosmic Radiance. You need the extra safety the Kai'Sa can play.
Oh, baby!
Diving the tower! Reckless can't help his support and can't help himself. Hansama vying to be the best AD carry in the EU LCS.
And I can be more useful than him in the early game. And he's been that, and that's top lane kill.
Once again! Mickey lands the binding. Hansama gets his 3rd kill of the game. Caps is raining damage down onto Maxor. That's 1. Caps still alive. Watch that Kai'Sa, because he's the one to make the play. Seconds knocks it back. That was a misplay from Misfits, and perhaps Fnatic can capitalize here. The fight continues. Hansama exhausted.
Caps
Kai'Sa still alive. No, he's not. He gets clapped with an axe in the back.
Hey, we can win. Just keep together. Keep your shit one. Yeah, I have shields.
I told Kai'Sa. I shield. I'm on Kai'Sa.
Kai'Sa. I speed you, Steven. Go.
Quick slow.
Nice. Kill them all. Go, Steven. Go. 1v9.
Go Nash after. Go Nash after. Go Nash. Don't chase.
Okay. Good shit.
Senkirk on that blast cone is like that gif of the dog who can't walk, and he's like, ha, JK. That's what happened there.
Got a bigger dog, goes Hansama, and smack, and then they got to work on the cheers here a little bit, I feel like. Go, Hans, go.
I don't think they do. Did you listen to Max Lore's voice?
Okay, I heard that one, yes. Yeah, my virgin ears couldn't handle that.
No, that was intense. But generally, I just love it. Hansama played his Draven, and the fact that he just flashed forward, he wild turtled literally every second.
What surprised me was actually the coordination that went behind that, because they were just like, I sped you up, I shielded you, you can go in. And then Hansama was just like, oh, sweet. And then flashes in and secures the kill.
Yeah, I think we should celebrate that clear shot calling and not want it to be more messy. No.
Where's the screaming?
One honorable mention I want to give to is Maxthor earlier in the day, when he had that amazing, when all the choke point and then the wombo combo came in from Misfits.
Do you remember the one he had earlier when he ganked?
I do remember that one.
Did you see that in this game? He flashed in
and then W'd the wrong.
target was stunned, and then he knocked him away.
On the Talia one. Yeah,
on the Talia one. That was beautiful.
That was so good.
By the way, a credit to another person as well. Mickey landed the bindings. Hans did this. Mickey did land the bindings.
Yeah, it's always a team effort. We need to build some people here. Hansama was great.
Hansama is so good.
I love it about the junglers playing Talia. I think Perks also had a tweet that was like, I
hate watching Yankos
play
Talia.
Like does every spell in the wrong direction. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Hansama getting a lot of praise. I believe there was a bit of a meme in the O Gaming broadcast where it was like Team Niski or Team Hansama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now it's definitely Team Hansama.
I mean, right now, yeah, but I don't know. I think we play them next week, so.
Oh, good too.
Next week's gonna be Team Niski.
Yeah.
Are you sure, based on this week?
Yeah.
I think we'll get them.
All right.
Let's take a look. Like, do you think now with another week we'll see another splice?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. Let's take a look at the schedule for next week. We will be back on Friday for week 2 and a new edition of our pre-game show, Ready Check. Ready Check is going to start 30 minutes before the first game. That is at 5:30 on Friday, starting at 6 with the picks and bans for Unicorns of Love versus Giants. Let's see what we've got. Unicorns of Love Giants. Obviously, Unicorns of Love still don't have a win. Vitality Rock at G2 Schalke, which is our match of the week. So can I get a quick round of predictions?
For G2 Schalke?
Yes.
I would say 1,000% G2.
I would say G2.
Don't really trust Schalke right now.
I think G2 as well.
Okay, yeah.
I will make a controversial prediction.
Please.
I think Rocket will beat Vitality next week.
No, I don't think so.
Well, if they play like they did today,
you're gonna keep that
lock
one.
it in?
I will.
You gotta shake my hand here.
Yes.
Lock it in.
I will lock that one in.
You lock that one in.
I will
right
lock it
now.
in.
Cool.
And I am not gonna give my reasons why until next week.
That's perfectly fine. I don't think we need the reason.
That is the most reluctant lock-in I've ever. I guess it's on camera.
I will lock that in.
You just wanted to touch
Nope.
my hand.
Rocket, I will lock that in. Rocket will be Vitality next
I mean,
week.
today they were insane.
I am done, by the way, making statements. All my tweets today have horribly backfired. My Fnatic tweet backfired completely. I tweeted Splice hard won the draft, which I still think they did, but then they lost, and then you get the classic, you know.
I feel so bad for you.
So I'm done with statements.
Are you getting washed up, Deficio? Is that what's happening?
Ender,
I feel like I was right both times with what I tweeted, but they didn't work.
Young blood coming in, getting the old guard.
I'm blaming the teams.
Yeah, we've also been talking for like, I guess, an hour. So let's take a look at what's in store in the NALCS. The summer split's coming up really, really soon. 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid. The very first matchup there. Definitely very hyped for that one. We'll also have a rebroadcast for the EU LCS following the action in the NALCS. So 100 Thieves or Team Liquid, lightning round?
100 Thieves.
Oh!
100 Thieves. This is not a Team Liquid matter.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I think Team Liquid.
I don't even know what I'm saying. I haven't really prepared any NA stuff.
This is what our European experts think, so you can roll with that NALCS countdown. We'll see. Time for us to call it a night here in Berlin. It's been an action-packed weekend, but we're going to see you next week. Thank you, Niski, for joining us. Good luck next week. Thank you, analysts, for joining me. Spirit Analyst Ender, you're great. And have a great night, everyone.
Good luck, Belgium.
Bad day, man. I was wrong about everything.
So Denmark won? Denmark won.
Denmark did win.
Nice. Good job. You won something.
Yeah.
And it's a fight over the Scuttlecraft. Gets the yoink back on the Lulu. Selfie. He flash. It's going to be first blood up top, but second soon to follow.
Oh my god,
just like that, two go down. Shuko's Paranoia tries to get a bit of a steal off, but it's not within lethal range, and Memento blows him away. And it looks like H2K are gonna say goodnight on this game.
I think we can fight. Yeah, we can go. Right in there. I'm coming. LT, fight it. Get the plant. Rise is no flash. Good job. Nice!
Down. Amazing is still running. He's just, I didn't even see him die. Instantly blown up. Fnatic, we're losing this game for 23 minutes. Kaisa is online and Fnatic destroy Schalke.
Wave clear, that's when it's going a lot better.
Goodbye, Wonder. But at what cost? Tower shots come down. Oda Wonder is now running for his life. Flashes over the wall and it's secured by Perks.
Oh, nice.
All right, for the Forge God comes out. Look at this. Xerxes able to shut down what did, and G2 Esports are destroying the Nexus, destroying Splice, and G2 go undefeated in week 1.